For those who are not aware, we are now having a 1-hour cookery class, although it's now only going to be 50 minutes cookery class with Superfly and his 2 sous chefs. And I'm going to mute my microphone so there's no feedback from me, and Super will hopefully tell us what it is that he's going to prepare for us this year. Over to you, Super.
First of all, how's the sound for everybody? Does everybody hear everything okay? Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. Okay, good. And video okay?
I see a couple.
Okay, most people are giving thumbs up, so I guess we're good. Today, we're going to make 3 things. We're going to make baklava or baklava. We are going to make supli, I think that's how it's pronounced, supli, and we are going to make calzones, which is basically a pizza folded in half. So we're going to do this pretty quickly, as fast as we can. First thing we're going to do is we are going to start with a few drinks, and that is pina coladas, which was a request by the girls. Very simple drink to make. Some ice. There'll be a little bit of a mess here because it'll move quickly. Coconut milk. More ice. Oh yeah, definitely more ice. Put that on the blender, please.
And Super, if I may, there's one issue that some of the people may want to hear about. In some of the promotional material we put out, there was a mention of Ray Comfort being on the show. Do you want to talk us through that?
Unfortunately, Ray Comfort never got back to me. The reasoning is I have no idea. Ray Comfort does what he needs to do for whatever reasons he feels he needs to do it. And he didn't show up. I was hoping to have a discussion with him regarding the Bible, biblical claims, his religious beliefs, and so on. Unfortunately, that obviously did not occur. I wish it had been quite an interesting discussion.
Well, I'd also add to that about 6 months ago, I messaged him, I think twice, by email to his website, Way of the Master, asking him to come on the show. I know independently, and actually without my knowledge at the time, Aaron did exactly the same thing a couple of months later, and a couple of months after that, you also did the same thing. So he's had several invitations to come on the show, but clearly Ray does not want to be involved in this event.
Before I turn this on, can you mute me? Because I'm turning on the blender and you're going to hear this. Here we go. Oh, that's good enough. Okay.
And do you want to tell me when you want to talk about what you're doing, because I'll fill in the gaps with other bits and pieces.
These are just simple little drinks that the girls requested. We're having some kids over and stuff like that, so they said, "Hey, can you make pina coladas?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, not a problem." Now, usually I take a little more time in making them, but we only have so much time, so this is a bit of a rush job, but it still smells pretty good. I had to put more ice in it and blend it a little bit longer. I'm going to have a little sip here on my own. And it's missing something. Yeah, it's missing something. No, something else. And let's see here. For decorations, again, I usually don't rush things this quickly.
It's the pressure of live television, Super. You know, you just got to do it. What do you think it's missing?
I don't have to curse and swear like Gordon Ramsay does.
Of course not. Not with 2 young sous chefs like them.
Yeah, exactly. Before I know it, I'll be getting a phone call. Excuse me.
Whilst you mentioned Gordon Ramsay, let me take this opportunity for those who are watching to tell you who did not agree to appear on the show. Every single person I managed to contact directly, all of them agreed to appear. Those that didn't agree, because I had to go through agents, and give a big thumbs down for Stephen Fry, You're asking I'm asking you to give a thumbs down to Stephen Fry. How can I? No. If he wants his career to go down the pan because he didn't appear on this program, that's his problem. Stephen Fry, Dara O'Brien, Gordon Ramsay, Jack D. I can't
Don't
remember.
forget
Someone
to
else.
throw in Bill Nye. I talked to Bill Nye's agent, but that's as far as I could get.
Bill
Okay.
Nye the
Now,
Science
what I am
Guy.
doing here is I'm taking a pound of walnuts and I'm grating a pound of walnuts. I had a small mixer here, so I can't do the whole pan at one time. And this is for the baklava. Turn that on maximum heat. And I would like you to please, we're going to put in 1 cup of water. And turn that down.
I have to say, at the moment, Super, you seem to be doing all the work, and your sous chefs don't seem to
I'm
be
used to it.
doing their weight.
I'm used to it. Okay, so, excuse me, please. We are going to do 1 cup of water. 1, 2, 3. Maximum heat. We're going to bring that to a boil, and we're going to add. I'm going to ground this up first because I'm going to need this here in a moment. This won't be loud. So as I said, I'm grounding a pound of walnuts that have been freshly ground. Freshly ground walnuts are much better than the packaged stuff for this, as the packaged stuff can certainly taste a little bit on the flat side, stale. So, get my thing together here. And that was me goofing up here. In a moment, we're all going to start working together. I don't want to ground this up too much, otherwise it will not be. It'll just be a powder rather than chunks of walnut. So, the rest of the walnuts. Oh, they'll be getting to work here in a moment. Don't you worry.
They're not earning their pay at the moment, I have to say.
That's true. So sugar. Okay, bag of sugar. Take that, rinse it out, please. Then get 1 cup of sugar.
Super. One of the things I was going to mention during this hour is the items on eBay, but
Sorry. Sorry.
But maybe you want to give a shout out for the items that you've got on the eBay page.
Yes, I do. Okay, I have my auctions on eBay right here. Can one of you ladies pick up the book, please? I have for auction this copy of the Oxford Bible Commentary, Old Testament and New Testament. Right now, it's sitting at, I think, about $80. I will sign it before it is sent out. And the next item is the Presonus 1394 Firewire sound system. It is a Firewire device. It does come with a PCI sound card, so I'll be sending that out. It also comes with power if power is required. Firewire does supply power, so you don't have to worry about it if you're using a 6-pin Firewire cable, which this also comes with. It also comes with this microphone that I'm using right now. And it doesn't come with the software that originally came with it, but the the drivers are easily downloaded off the website. That's the device that I've been using over a year for doing my audio recordings.
I like how your kids do that Vanna White impersonation.
Okay, now what I have here is, and this is where we're going to all start working together. So, did you get the sugar? Okay, put those down, ladies, to the side. I want you to get 1 1/3 cups of sugar. Put it in here, and just put it in. That's fine. And this sous chef and I are going to work together with the phyllo pastry. Phyllo pastry, if you want to make this, you go right ahead. I don't make phyllo pastry. It's hard to make.
Super. I worked in a professional kitchen for a while under a very, very good chef. One of the best I've ever come across. And he always said to me, why make your own pastry when you can buy it?
Yeah.
So no criticism there. But I have to say, a huge respect for you to start playing around with pastry on a live show with only sort of like 40 minutes left to go.
Okay.
Big respect.
Okay, the sugar that you dumped in there, the 1 1/3 cups of sugar, put it in that water, please. In that pan, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of butter. That's for the soupli. We are going to cut in half the pastry. I would like you to butter the bottom of the pan.
Is it possible just to lower the camera very slightly because we can't actually see what you're doing on the table?
Okay, not a problem.
That's great. Perfect. Thank you.
Now, I'm doing this rather sloppily because I'm in a bit of a hurry, obviously, seeing that we're down to 40 minutes. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting the phyllo pastry in half because this is a 9x13 pan that I'm using to make this with. So, down the middle. Here we go. Sheet. Okay. Please. Say.
So, do go around. I was just going to say, had we come on the show, what would you like to talk to him about? But do carry on and explain what you're doing.
Okay, first of all, before I talk about that, there's one layer of phyllo. Please put the butter in on top of that phyllo. Quickly, gotta do it fast.
I am trying. It's really hard at this angle.
I know it's hard at that angle. Okay, next layer of phyllo. Butter, please. Okay, now I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of butter and I'm going to put it in there. Give me the butter, please. Move, please. Did you already put the sugar in there?
Yes.
1, 2, 3 tablespoons. And we'll put a little bit more. Won't hurt. Okay, now that you have that down, that in. Next layer of phyllo. I'm trying to go from taking just from one side so I know how many layers I'm using. Go ahead and next layer of butter, please. Now we've got 3 tablespoons of butter in this frying pan. The butter's heating up. And in this, we are going to put the rice. Is this turned on? Turn it on. These are the fast heat ones, so we're going to be using it. Is this a larger of the two? Switch.
Yeah, if you could, can you lower your camera just a tiny smidge one more time?
Okay, move, please.
There you go.
There we go.
Might
Okay.
be too much there. Now I can't see you.
It's just lag.
Okay.
Because I'm right in the middle of the screen. Okay. Go ahead. Put the next layer of butter on there. Keep going. Okay. Once this butter is heated up for about 3 minutes on this, I'm going to start heating up this rice. Bring that to a maximum. Yep. Good. Maximum. Good. I usually don't cook at maximum heat, but we're doing things in a hurry here. Okay. Next layer. Butter.
Don't try this at home.
Yes, try this at home. The only way you get good is if you try it. I started cooking when I was 8 years old. And I'm now in my 40s. Move. What fell?
My drink.
Your drink? Don't worry about it. We'll clean that up later. Keep moving.
Ooh. My ankle.
We'll get some more coconut milk and we'll make some more later. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Now, the thing about phyllo pastry is if it rips, don't worry about it. You can just work with it as it is and just layer it back up. Quickly. Okay. That butter is starting to boil. Can you start stirring that as well? And that's the sugar water that we're making only takes about 5 minutes. Okay, so how much water did you put in there? A half cup or a cup? Or did I put the water in there?
You put the water.
I put the water in there. Okay.
You said cup.
Okay, I said a cup. Yes, I did say a cup. Okay, next. Keep going. Okay. Right down the side. Good, that's nice and fast. I like that. I like that. Galloping gourmet. Keep going. Beautiful.
That looks like he has the least work.
Yes, the past couple days, what I've been doing getting ready for this, you're darn right I'm going to make you work. Okay, we're going to stir that around, and we're going to put in the, this is one small, choking here, one small onion, which has been chopped finely. Mix that in, please. What we're basically doing here is sealing the rice. Okay, let me take that.
It's kind of hard working.
It's with 2 hands. You're definitely right. It's hard working with 2 hands. What we're doing here is sealing the rice. And the rice that we're using is a medium grain rice for the soupli. Okay, next. We only have 2 more layers to go. Then we go with the walnuts. Beautiful.
So, Sue, just so I'm following this so far, this is just layers of phyllo with butter in between them at the moment.
That's exactly what it is. Layers of phyllo with butter in between them. So we took this package of phyllo, again, cut it in half, use 1/2 of the package for the bottom layer. Once you get that butter on there, I put in the walnuts. It's walnuts with cinnamon and cardamom is the spice. And cardamom is actually quite the expensive spice. It smells kind of like sage. So here goes the walnuts. Spread it out nice and easily. Okay. It's not an exact perfect fit, but it's good enough. Close enough. Okay. Now, next layer of phyllo. And let's get this out of the kitchen. We don't need it anymore. There we go. It's plastic. The clear phyllo. Okay. Butter, please. Nice and gentle. Now that we have the rice here heating up and probably sealed up pretty good, we are going to put in this rice. Chicken stock to cover. Watch out. Hot. And if you're listening carefully, you might be able to hear the chicken stock heating up some. So I'm waiting in.
I think we did. Yeah.
Okay, keep that on high heat, and that's going to start to boil up in a minute. Okay, we want just enough to cover it. And we'll probably be moving to a pot here in a moment. You got that buttered up? Okay, is that boiling yet? Is it boiling? Not boiling?
Not quite.
Not quite? Okay. Next layer of phyllo, which didn't get cut. Which means I'm one layer short on the bottom. Not a big deal. Certainly no crime. Okay. Next layer of phyllo, please, or butter, please. And this is typically how phyllo pastry is prepared for desserts. It's just layers of phyllo and butter, phyllo and butter. Don't use margarine. Margarine will burn. I promise you it will, and it'll be a mess. It'll be no good.
Salted butter or unsalted butter?
I was about to say that next. Go ahead.
Unsalted.
Unsalted butter, exactly. Yeah, beat me to that one. Actually, I do all my cooking with unsalted butter, but in the case of doing with pastries, especially phyllo, okay, you have to use unsalted butter.
Yep.
Okay, quickly. Quick. Down that corner. Okay, keep going. The thing is that we already have a pan of this already done. We made it last night.
Which was a lot easier last night.
Yes, it was, because we weren't under the pressure.
You're not going to do this, throw everything apart and then suddenly, here's one I prepared before, are you?
Yeah.
Oh! I thought you would.
The rest of it's not. The rest of it is just a matter of, because this is going to take about 40, 50 minutes to cook in the oven, and we don't have time for that. Quickly.
I'm going.
Beautiful. Next layer. Okay, do you want to... Here. I might need to get you to do something else here in a moment.
Good.
Oh, that's boiling up. Good. And that's not. I don't like that burner. Okay.
Could I just ask the sous chefs a question? Are they happy working? Are they happy working under such a tyrannical head chef?
No. Sorta. I feel rushed.
There. Okay. You just can't see the butter there. That's fine. Okay, go ahead. Next. Yes, I am such a tyrant. I am probably the most abusive chef. I'm like Gordon Ramsay has nothing on me. I might not use the language, but the tactics I use behind the screen, oh man. It's quite, I'm sure I have the whips and belts here somewhere.
Probably do.
Keep going. Smart mouth. Okay. And next layer. Keep going. Okay, yes, that's boiling up. And that rice is going to absorb. The rice here that we put the chicken stock that they put the rice in, the rice is going to absorb that chicken stock. And next layer.
What are you doing with the rice? Is that sort of like a risotto, or is it rice? Yeah,
it's like a risotto. Yeah, it is. It is a risotto. Yeah. And next, keep going. Good. Next.
I'm gonna knock everything off.
Is that boiling yet? That looks.
It's starting at the bottom.
Okay. That's max. Yeah, it is good. Okay. Keep going. Meal is all buttered. Next.
There's a piece of water
Next.
in that.
Keep going. Okay.
It's almost like watching a magician just sort of like continually pulling handkerchiefs out of a pocket. How many layers of blooming pastry have you got there?
A lot. We're almost down to the last couple sheets, though. Okay. Now, next.
No, instead of butter, too.
Good, because we only have 2 sheets left. Next.
Oh, great. Now I'm buttering.
Oh, that's okay.
Buttered me, Dad.
And last sheet of phyllo right here. This is obviously a long process if you are taking your time. And there we go. Butter on top of that. And the phyllo is done. Garbage right here. We won't worry about that mess of that drink. Now, after you've cooked this in the oven for around 40 minutes or so, it comes out a nice golden brown on top. We will set this right here right now. And it looks like this when you're done. Move, please.
I knew it. Here's one we did prepared earlier. I have to say, it looks great, but it is just pastry and butter, isn't it?
That's all it is. Pastry, butter, or walnut.
What does it taste like?
Don't know yet because you still need to put on the simple syrup, which is what she's making right now. This container here is half a cup of water. It is 2/3 of a cup of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of orange blossom water. You don't have to use orange blossom water if you don't want to. There are certainly no laws about that. You can use honey if you want to. It's completely up to you. But we've chosen to go simple syrup, water, sugar, and orange blossom water. Then you just ladle it over to soak the whole thing up. We'll get some pineapple, and we'll make some more later, and we'll take our time making it. That's just to show how to make it. Okay.
The middle.
Yep.
Right.
That's why I decided to make it a little bit of extra too. This is boiling away. Good. I want a little scoop of this. This is hot. I shouldn't be doing this while it's hot, but c'est la vie. I'm going into the whole thing, so. And this is going to soak in, and ooh la la, there we go. Turn that off, please.
Looks good as new.
And here comes some more broth. Keep cooking away. Okay, so you got that one pan to work with now. So stir that up. And once it is done, move please. You'll see that it has a nice shiny glitter on the top of it, and it is filled with basically simple syrup, which gets soaked into it. And this is really, really good. So there you go. I'm going to put this in the kitchen for right now so we can make some room, because the next thing to work with is calzones. The calzones is basically a pizza folded in half. And where did I put the dough?
So it's a piece of what in half?
Yeah, it's basically a pizza folded in half. I'm sorry, what you say?
Okay. I think that a lot of people, they have a sort of like fear or reluctance to put sugar in a pan and start melting it, because it's sort of like they get worried it's going to burn and it's going to make a mess of the pan and everything. What advice would you give them?
Suck it up. Really, it's really not that bad. If you're just watching, you just got to keep an eye on it. If you don't keep an eye on it, things will go into a disaster. That's just the way it is. You always have to keep an eye on your cooking. If you don't keep an eye on your cooking, it's going to be a mess. As simple as that. So now what I have here is dough. This dough is 2 tablespoons of caster sugar as well as yeast, 4 tablespoons of yeast. The caster sugar or the superfine sugar dissolves really quickly in water. So it blends better with water, which is better for the yeast. Set it for 5 minutes. Then I put into a pan, I put in 7 1/3 cups of flour, some salt, 6 tablespoons of oil. I put in, and I use 7 fluid ounces of water. No, sorry, I use 3 tablespoons of oil. Excuse me. And this will make 4 calzones. I braised for about an hour and a half. I used the dry yeast, or you can use real yeast if you want to. That needs more. Okay.
Yep.
And there we go.
I might watch him.
What I'm going to use next is some cornmeal.
Hello.
Cornmeal. Cornmeal to. Out of habit, I was about to fight this. Cornmeal to put down on the table so it's not slippery. So here we go.
Especially where the slippery stuff is.
Okay, what I need you to do is help her bring over the broth.
Her stir.
Bring over the broth. Put it on that, please, on the burner, on the other burner at max. And that will keep it nice and warm for her so that she can go now. Do it, please.
I know exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Grab the pot that's on the stove. Turn the burner off from the stove and put that pot over here on the hot plate. So right now, I'm just simply rolling out the dough as you would with any sort of pizza.
If you're not using much flour underneath it, is it going to stick to the table?
I'm using cornmeal.
Okay.
It was really good to keep things from sticking. And it also does a nice dusting job on the pizza dough as well. And when it gets thin enough, with a little bit of practice, just 1 second here, going as fast as I can.
As I say, whilst you're doing that, perhaps you would also like to tell us what, had Ray Comfort turned up, what topics would you like to have discussed with him?
First, I'd like to take on his question, if you a lie, that makes you a liar, which is like, oh, please give me a break. Because what he is doing is saying, you just admit, because what he does in his arguments is saying, oh, that makes you a liar. It's like, no, it doesn't. It makes me a liar by your standards. So you're not pulling out like a specific standard. You're pulling out the standards that you are using based upon what you are reading. I do not accept your standards. Therefore, accusing me of adultery, accusing me of a liar based upon your standards doesn't fit. They are your standards.
Well, that and the fact that he himself is lying in every one of the videos that I've seen.
Oh, no kidding. For example, he goes through the 10 Commandments. One of the commandments that he says is, thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not lie is not in the 10 Commandments, period. I mentioned this before. It is not there. The 10 Commandments are, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Thou shalt not thou shalt not have any graven images. Thou shalt not take the Lord God's name in vain. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor thy mother and father. Thou shalt not kill or murder. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And thou shalt not commit adultery. And I'm cooking while I'm doing this. So when he says that thou shalt not lie is one of the 10 Commandments, that is flat out wrong. All you have to do is read Exodus chapter 20 or Deuteronomy chapter 5, and you'll see for yourself.
One thing I'd be interested in, and I know I'm really getting you to multitask here, cooking and talking and thinking and whatever. What's your take on the argument that is oft put forward by apologetics that the New Testament contains a new covenant and everything changed with Jesus?
Of course, all interpretation. The whole idea of the new covenant is based upon the sacrifice of Jesus. Jesus being the one pure, perfect sacrifice, the blood of, the pure, perfect lamb. So for Christianity, sure, it's a new covenant. Well, this new covenant dismisses the old covenant of blood sacrifice and ritual. Put in more. Yeah, it takes total about 20 minutes, but this is looking really good. Okay?
With just a spoonful like that?
Yeah, just a little bit at a time. So, a new covenant, if you're looking at a Christian way, yes, it is. But I would not necessarily agree with everything that Christianity has to say, or Christians have to say regarding that. That's because there are 2 sets of laws in the Old Commandments. Well, actually, there's 3, but when you want to break it down, you have ritual and you have ethical. Ethical are the 10 Commandments that we're familiar with. Pardon me, this is a little bit small. I'm trying to do it a little bit too quickly, and it's too stiff. But anyhow, Christians say that.
Well, just before we move on there, Super, because I know we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. You were telling me that you've got these sort of like the traditional 10 Commandments, but you've then also got a different set of commandments, which there is a justifiable argument that those do not count anymore. I mean, it's not a completely fallacious argument. Just want to talk us through that. I love putting pressure on a chef. So talk us through those whilst you're cooking at the same time.
Mozzarella cheese that we were throwing into the middle of this calzone. What do you want on your calzone?
Cheddar cheese.
I'm sorry?
Cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese? You want cheddar and mozzarella or just cheddar?
I can have both.
Okay. So, sorry, cheddar and matzah, both in here. Do you want salami or?
Salami, yes.
Do you want ham?
No.
No? Okay. So this one's going to get salami or salami. And you wanted pineapple too, didn't you?
Yes. Same kind.
Okay. So salami. Again, I'm doing this in rush, so you have to pardon me. What was the question again? I'm sorry. The question again?
So the question was, following on from the conversation we had a few weeks ago, there is a kind of justification for the argument that some of the old laws no longer apply as a result of Jesus' sacrifice.
Exodus chapter 34. And the ritual laws, the laws that govern sacrifice, blood sacrifices, and so on. Yeah, according to Christianity, Jesus is supposed to be the pure and perfect sacrifice, and he's supposed to supersede all of these laws because he's a pure and perfect sacrifice, which no animal can possibly be, and so on. And therefore, that makes the laws of the religion, the laws that are sacrificial in nature, the laws that are nature now moot because Jesus' sacrifice is supposed to have taken care of all that. However,
just the prohibition of eating shellfish and the prohibition of boiling a baby goat in its mother's milk, are those laws that no longer apply? They're sort of like the sacrificial laws.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the sacrificial laws, the ritual laws that would be made moot by most interpretations of Christianity. However, the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not bear false witness and stuff like that, is not made moot. They are still followed. The ethical laws are still followed, and if you want to read ethical laws, you read Leviticus chapter 18, you read Leviticus chapter 19, and Leviticus chapter 20. Read them, you won't like them.
Okay, so if the ritual laws are negated now, so that we can now eat shellfish, then since the bit about homosexuality is in the same chapter, wouldn't that also apply that homosexuality is no longer an abomination?
That's ethical. Okay. It has to do with behavior. So that comes with the personal belief. So I would even argue that homosexuality is mentioned in the Bible in the first place. But I'll get to that in a minute. The thing is that if you want to take the impression that homosexuality is bad, Leviticus 18, Leviticus 20, then, again, being ethical laws, you can definitely apply them. However, add more. And that looks like it's coming along beautiful. That's going to be the last group you're going to add, and that'll be it. Homosexuality would apply and stuff like that. And you go to Romans chapter 1, chapter 2, and the letters of Paul. And Paul is talking about, the things, the people turning away from God and being overcome by their own lust and so on. But we'll go back to the Old Testament in a minute. If you take a look at the time, and specifically in the Roman era, look up the cult of Sibylle. And I can't mention the cult of Sibylle in the presence of the young ladies. However, take a look at it, or cult of Sibylle, pardon me. Take a look at it and see what the ritual practices were, and you'll start to get an idea what Paul may have been talking about in that. It was a very popular cult at the time, came into its forefront probably around 30 BCE or so right before the time of the supposed Jesus Christ. And it was a pretty strange cult. Again, I can't talk about it because of the presence of the ladies. Anyhow, going back to the Old Testament, when you're talking about homosexuality in the Old Testament, this is a time when a army coming in to defeat another nation, the other nation that was defeated, the surviving men would be humiliated by the men of the opposing army. I'll let you use your own imaginations on that. Also, there's the idea